Today is December 13th, 2023. 9 days after CIM. Originally, I was planning to rest until Friday or Saturday before running again. But doing cycling on my spin bike, just a little too boring. And I feel pretty good with my knee. So I'm starting to run a little earlier. Today I would like to do a review of 2023. How did I do? What races I ran well? And also maybe a little bit about my goals in 2024 when I'm planning to race. So, in 2023, I ran 13 races, including 3 marathons, Tokyo, Chicago, both majors, and CIM. Starting with my first real race in March 2023, the Tokyo Marathon. Tokyo Marathon, I ran 3:14 and change. It was a poor performance. I was thinking that I can get to 3:05, 3:06, but I just felt really terrible that day. Drinking a lot of alcohol the week before because it was free wasn't a very good idea. But it's a lot of good alcohol. Then at the end of April, I ran the Los Gatos Great Race, 4 mile, exactly 27 minutes. You know, it was somewhat hilly, and I wasn't training for the hill. I would rate it as a mediocre performance. Wasn't terrible, wasn't great, and I lost the people I should have beaten. But overall, it wasn't terrible. Then a week later, early May, I did the Heart and Soul 10K in San Jose. While the official time is 40:55, but the course is short, maybe by about 0.15 miles or so. I mean, it wasn't a bad performance, but I certainly felt I couldn't stay with a faster pace doing all these marathon training. I just don't have it. I would rate it as a mediocre performance. Then almost a month later, beginning of June, I did 2 races on consecutive days. First, June 3rd, I did the Stolik 5K. It is one of the USATF Pacific Association races. I did okay, 20-28 or so. I would say it's a mediocre performance. It was one of my first 5 official 5K road races in many years. So not really used to the very fast speed. And there was a little bit of hill as well. So again, I'm not well trained for hills because I've been training for Tokyo and it's very flat. Then the next day on June 4th, I did the Viva 3 miles 10K. My time is 45 minutes. Even my tempo run is a lot faster than that race. The reason? I made 3 wrong turns, not just once, twice, but 3 times. I got lost because there were 10K, 5K, and half marathon people all running on the same course. And there are places where you can choose to turn left, right, or straight. And I made the wrong turn 3 times. And I even fell in the last 100 meters. A race that I don't really want to remember anymore. And I would rate the Dream Mile definitely a very poor grade. Then, on July 4th, I ran the Morgan Hill Freedom Run 5K. And I felt like I was pretty strong that day. I was definitely in sub 25K shape. And I was on track. I finally finished with a time of 20:07. And the reason why I couldn't get it was I was so scared of being outkicked by people. And in the middle mile, I just want to hang with the pack. And the pack was slowing down. Even the last mile, I tried my best to make up for the difference. Just couldn't. But I would still rate it a good grade just because it's only my second road race 5K in probably the last 5 years. Then late July, I ran my running club's 5K on the track race, and I finished with a really bad time of 20:39. That is my slowest 5K time on the road or on the track in the last 3-4 years. It was a very poor day for me, but my only excuse is I've started to run 100 miles a week, even though I tapered down a little for a couple of days before the 5K. I think my legs were just tired. Then at the end of August, I ran the Alameda 10-miler. It is more like a 10-mile MP run, and I finished exactly in 70 minutes in the middle of a 100-mile week. So, I mean, it wasn't bad. I did run a little faster the year before, but I tapered down a little. I was hoping that I can get to 6:55 pace, but 70 minutes is okay. Maybe somewhere I would rate it between good and mediocre. Then on October 1st, a week before Chicago, I ran the Rock and Roll Half Marathon. Now this was my goal race originally, because I wanted to get back to 127 half. But when I got the chance to redeem myself by running Chicago, when I signed up for it, I knew I would have to give up running a good time at the Rock and Roll Half. It's a very good race, fast and flat. So I ran 138 and change. Pretty good, solid pre-Chicago run, but no rating. Then my second goal race, Chicago. I ran 3:05:57. I rated a very good race for me. Now, even though the time is not sub 3:05 that I originally planned for, or even sub 3, but I haven't really been running well for a long time. Even my training this summer, compared with summer 2022, my training was a lot slower. So being able to run my best time since December 2011, the best time in more than 12 years. Actually, just a little less than 12 years. It was great. One of my highlights on racing for a long time. Well, after Chicago, I was very confident that I could take a step to run sub 3 at CIM. So I upped my training and I wanted to have a good half marathon, maybe even get to 127. So I signed up for the Clarksburg half marathon. It's just a little bit more than 2 hours of drive from my home. Well, unfortunately, I got injured about 2 weeks before Clarksburg, 3 weeks after Chicago. Not a really serious injury, but started to get some knee soreness. And I ran 132, 44, 45. That time is slower than even the first half of my Chicago marathon. Maybe tiny bit faster than my second half of Chicago. So definitely a disappointment. Also, 5 weeks after Chicago, my legs felt really tired. Well, a long time ago, I also signed up for the Silicon Valley Turkey Trot 5K. Again, this is my first time running the Turkey Trot 5K. Previous years, I ran the 10K. And I wanted to get to sub 20 because I was so closed, but didn't account for my injury, my right knee soreness. So in the weeks leading up to the Turkey Trot, or my preparation for my next race, CIM, I couldn't do as many training as I scheduled and planned. Originally, I wanted to taper for the 5K to run a very good time, but knowing that I was behind on my CIM training, I couldn't taper. So I just turned it into a fun run. Only 25 minutes and change. Was a good experience, but certainly I would like to have the chance to take another step as a 25K. Then just 9 days ago, I ran my 13th and last race of 2013. And like I said, I have been injured a little, so my training wasn't great. But because CIM is still my PR course, my best time there was 3:02, and I ran it 7 times before 2023. I thought I still could have a chance to run sub 3:05, but also underestimated the time it takes to recover from a hot run marathon. My legs were just tired. Even in the first mile, I felt the difference. I was fresh and healthy in Chicago, and I was not at CIM. So, did 3:08.11. It isn't a terrible run, but I will rate it another mediocre performance. One that I would like to improve in future years and get back to where I was 12, 13 years ago. Alright, so that's a wrap for 2023. Now we can talk about 2024. What are my goals? Well, I have a few goals for 2024. One is that I would like to run as many USATF, Pacific Association, Road Race Series races as much as possible. Even when I was not in shape this year and I ran those few races, didn't run all of them, my overall ranking at USATF for the 50 to 60-year-old plus 60-year-old age group wasn't too bad. I think if I can run more of those races, be slightly faster, maybe I can do top 10, and that would be wonderful. Second, I signed up for Sydney Marathon, September. I think it will be September 15, 2024. Hard to say whether I can run a very good time. Now, Sydney is not known as a very fast course, and this year September, it had an unusually warm day. So, but we'll see. I'll still give it a try to run a very fast time as much as I can. Then I need to redeem myself again at CIM. Now this time, I will have more than 8 weeks of recoveries. I think I have 11 weeks or so. CIM is a little later in the year than last year. It's going to be on December 8th instead of December 3rd. And Sydney is on September 15th instead of October 8th for Chicago this year. So I definitely got more time to recover if I just don't get injured. So for most of you, you might have heard about USATF, and they typically have regional associations to organize all the local races with the running clubs. So I belong to a running club called West Valley Joggers and Striders. We have a lot of fun. If you are in the Bay Area, you should come check it out. And some of the races include, in March, the Reading 10 miler, a little bit of rolling hills, and a little far away. I'm still planning to go, gonna be more than 5-hour drive, so a little bit tough. And the Sacktown 10 miler in April, that's a very good race. Definitely one of the faster one, not as fast as before. 10 years ago, 13 years ago when I ran it, they changed the course, but still relatively fast. Then I will do the Great Race 4 miler, the Stolik 5K, the Morgan Hill Freedom Run 5K. The one that I am not sure as well is Urban Cow Half Marathon, beginning of October. After Sydney, I'll see whether I can run that one. Then the same race, Classwork, and also CIM in December. So, if I can do sub 305 in one of those two marathons, and if I can place top 10 in the, particularly in the long road race ranking at Pacific Association of USATF, I'll be very happy. And obviously, if I can get even sub 3, that would be amazing. But one step at a time. I'll see whether I can run well first. And that's a wrap for today. What are your 2024 goals? And what is your review for your 2023 running? Please comment and we can discuss. See ya.